Imagine a soldier, decorated with the highest honor, standing at the most sacred site in America, the tomb of the unknown soldier. Now, picture him being ordered to remove his Medal of Honor, not out of disrespect, but because of an authority figure's decision. What happens next shakes his entire career and changes his life forever. This is the story of Sergeant James Robertson, a man who sacrificed everything for duty. Stay tuned to find out how one decision can redefine a life of honor and sacrifice. In the heart of Washington, D.C., a place of profound significance stands, a site where the bravest men and women in our nation's history are laid to rest, the tomb of the unknown soldier. This hallowed ground is not just a cemetery, but a symbol of the ultimate sacrifice made by those who have served our country. Its guardian is no ordinary soldier, but the Tomb Guard, an elite group of men and women chosen for their unyielding discipline, honor, and respect for the fallen. For Sergeant James Robertson, the honor of guarding the tomb was more than just a job. It was a calling. The Tomb Guard's role was a solemn one, requiring absolute precision, unwavering commitment, and a sense of duty that transcended personal ambitions. The tomb, with its cold, silent reverence, demanded the best of its guardians, and Robertson had always delivered. Every movement, every step, every shift in position was executed flawlessly. For years, Robertson had proven himself as one of the best, a symbol of what it meant to serve with integrity. But on one particular day, everything changed. It was a seemingly normal day in his military career, a day like any other spent in the shadow of the tomb. The sun shone down on the marble, casting long shadows as Robertson walked his familiar rounds. He had done this hundreds of times before. The protocol, the ceremony, the honor, it was all second nature to him. His Medal of Honor, the highest military distinction, hung proudly on his chest, a testament to his bravery and sacrifice in combat. But that day, an unexpected and unimaginable order would upend his world. A judge, someone with no direct connection to the sacred grounds, issued a decision that would shake Robertson to his core. He was ordered to remove his Medal of Honor, not out of disrespect, but because of an interpretation of protocol, one that would forever change the course of his life and career. This moment, seemingly insignificant at first, would set in motion a chain of events that would challenge the very essence of Robertson's identity as a soldier. How could one man, honored for his valor, ever comply with such an order? This was no longer just about an award. It was about the very foundation of his military career. This is where the story begins, a moment of incredible tension that would alter the course of Sergeant James Robertson's life forever. Sergeant James Robertson wasn't just another soldier in the vast sea of military personnel. He was an embodiment of dedication, a living testament to what it meant to serve with honor and integrity. His name was synonymous with precision, discipline, and an unshakable commitment to the sacred task of guarding the tomb of the unknown soldier. For Robertson, this was more than a duty. It was a lifelong. Standing there in the judge's office, a heavy question loomed in Robertson's mind. Should he comply with the order, or should he take a stand for the very ideals he had sworn to uphold? This moment, seemingly small, would ultimately redefine his life and career. Robertson had always been prepared for battle, but this battle, one of personal pride and principle, was one he had never anticipated. Sergeant James Robertson's decision to comply with the judge's order and remove his Medal of Honor seemed, in that moment, like a small act of obedience. After all, it was a simple command, a directive from someone in authority. He left the medal in the officer's room and returned to his duties, perhaps hoping that it would go unnoticed, a quiet sacrifice in the name of duty and respect for the tomb he had sworn to protect. But what happened next would shake his world to its very foundation. The repercussions of that moment spread like wildfire. What seemed like a solitary, insignificant act quickly became the talk of the nation. The public's reaction was swift and varied, and soon, Robertson found himself at the center of storm. The media, hungry for a story, latched onto the controversy, and opinions were sharply divided. Some hailed Robertson for his discipline, claiming that his willingness to comply with the order demonstrated a deep respect for authority and the greater good. They saw his obedience as a reflection of the soldier's creed to follow orders, regardless of personal cost. But for others, Robertson's compliance represented a tragic compromise of everything the Medal of Honor stood for. The very essence of what it meant to earn such a distinguished award was now in question. To them, the act of removing his medal wasn't just about following a command. It felt like a public dismantling of everything Robertson had worked so hard for, a strip away of his dignity, of his identity. As the controversy grew, Robertson's life, once defined by his pride in service, was consumed by public opinion. The calls for his resignation grew louder. People who once admired him began questioning his character, wondering if his commitment to his duty had been compromised. The very foundation of his career was crumbling beneath the weight of the media frenzy. The consequences of that single decision were swift and unforgiving. Robertson was abruptly removed from his post as tomb guard. The honor he had worked so hard to attain was now stripped from him, leaving behind a man who had become a symbol of how quickly things could change. What had once been a career marked by honor, respect, and pride was now tainted by controversy, and Robertson's life would never be the same. The man who had once walked with pride among the sacred graves of the tomb of the unknown soldier now stood as an example of how one unthinkable order could unravel a lifetime of service. His career, once marked by the highest honor, was now reduced to a cautionary tale of the cost of obedience and the price of a moment's decision. James Robertson's story doesn't end with defeat, nor does it fade into obscurity. Instead, his story stands as a testament to the complexity of sacrifice and what it truly means to serve with honor. While the events surrounding his removal from the tomb guard role and the forced removal of his Medal of Honor left a bitter mark on his career, they did not define him. His story carries with it a message that transcends the medals he wore or the uniform he donned. Sacrifice is not just about what we give, but how we carry ourselves when faced with the most difficult decisions. Robertson's career, though cut short in an unexpected and controversial manner, left a lasting impression not only on the Army, but on the very grounds he had sworn to protect. The tomb of the unknown soldier, a symbol of the highest honors and sacrifices made by countless service members, remains forever linked to his name. While his tenure as a tomb guard was brought to an abrupt end, his connection to the tomb and the values it represents will always endure. Robertson's decision to comply with the judge's order, even at the cost of his personal pride, speaks to the heart of what it means to serve a cause greater than oneself. It was never about the medal or the recognition. It was about the tomb and what it stood for. Despite the personal cost, Robertson honored the sacred responsibility he had been entrusted with. He chose duty over pride, honoring the memory of the fallen over the medal he had earned through his own sacrifices. Though his removal from the tomb guard role remains a topic of debate and controversy, it is important to remember that Robertson's service was never in question. He gave everything, including the most important symbol of his military career, for something far more significant than personal glory. In the end, James Robertson's legacy is not just about a career that was cut short. It is about a man who stood tall in the face of unimaginable challenges and made a sacrifice that few could truly understand. His service remains unchallenged, and his story, etched into the history of the tomb, will continue to inspire for generations to come. Even in the face of loss, Robertson's legacy is one of courage, commitment, and the enduring power of sacrifice. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more compelling tales of courage, sacrifice, and the unexpected twists in military history, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching.